evening, folks, and welcome to Cooking with Dan Leslie. My name is Janet Rabasardi-Hoff. I'll be your host this evening in Dan's Kitchen with Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hello, hello.
How are
we
you?
doing? Good, guys. How we doing?
Good, good.
Good, Dan.
We're in the thick of the summer right now.
Yeah, I know. Boy, it's not. It has been. It's going to be a little warm today, but generally the weather's been pretty good. You know.
Yeah, it's been nice.
You know, I saw the corn out there. What do they say? Knee high by the 4th of July.
Is that what?
Looked like it was thigh high by the 4th of July. So, I think the crops ought to be pretty good this year. You know.
Yep.
So hopefully I'll eat a few vegetables and fruits this year and kind of lay off the donuts.
Oh. And I know you've been out there swinging.
Oh, please. Thank goodness for partners on a golf course. My Lord, I swear I need I wish they'd have a little psychiatric booth set up, a little tent just past the 18th hole. This way you can go in there.
Dan, your name is written all over.
You can go in there and cry a little bit. They can talk you down out of the tree. You know, if it's that bad, they can give you, 3 fingers of bourbon or something to calm you down, you know. But, yeah, I tell you what, I haven't been exactly what they call striping it, meaning hitting the ball in play. I am, like, all over the place. Not even putting well. Thank God for gin rummy. But anyway, what's going on? It's this time of year we're going to throw a few things in. You know, the basil, my wife's growing a little on the deck. A lot of people are doing that. And then one of my buddies, Art Baggett, told me his wife made up a little pesto for dinner and stuff. And we just got to convincing about it. And, it can get very thick if you're not careful, between oil and, all that sort of thing. And how to get it hot, keep it hot and stuff. And we want to show you our little take on that.
Good.
I shucked a few clams open here.
Yeah,
We're going to make a little
good.
clam sauce. It's not exactly the lightest thing in the world, but, I just love a good clam sauce, Yeah. All right, get the clams out there. Maybe throw a few shrimp on there or something. We'll try that.
I was taking a look at these crepes you have going on here.
We were so busy here.
Let's
we make our.
take a look at that.
Yeah, we make our own crepes here. We make. If you got a little sweet tooth going, we'll whip one of these up. But we make our own crepes, nice and.
Oh, I love those. They are so.
Hi, folks.
Yeah,
You
they're
can see
so
right through it, light and right. And we whip up these apples, little butter, flour. You just make a little mix like that. We'll do a little later in the show and see if Janet's up for a little sweet tooth action here. So we have the clam sauce. I was going to flip a little spinach in the pan to show you how rapidly that can get done.
Great.
I guess we'll start maybe with the clam sauce. I'm going to get a little base in the pan here. I have a little mishmash of celery and onion. This is what's going to be the base flavor here. So it's basically half and half here. Maybe a little too much. We got some garlic that I pureed. Certain things we like to do the sliver garlic, and certain times I like to use the granulated garlic, like we're going to do on the spinach. But this one here, I want that. I like it the garlic to just disappear. That's a lot for one dish. Your breath will be horrible for a month.
We like garlic.
I like to put a little piece of butter in here, and this is one of the few times I like to mix olive oil and butter together. Just going to put a little oil in there. So we're going to get that going. Oops. Tuesday morning here. I guess I need a match. Didn't go on yet, huh? Give us a little abracadabra there. All right, we're going to melt this and get it all together. Now to start the dish, I've got some rolling water here. Once again, we've done this 9,000 times on the show, but it's really important if you're doing this at home and you're getting ahead on the project. This linguine, grab that linguine a little bit.
Oh yeah,
it's like wire, right?
Yep.
And we're going to put that in salted rolling water. But this is where you can cook it ahead a little bit and still have that magic word al dente come into play. But notice this is still yellow. Really tremendous stuff. This linguine that we use. The angel hair. Let's not leave out the angel hair. So this is, you got to be very careful. I'm almost breaking this. Put a little more in. We're going to make another pasta dish anyway, so I'll overdo this a little. Put the rest over here. I just cooked that off before the show started, folks. So you can't. It's not one of these things that maybe a penne or a rigatoni type. But if you're doing a linguine, angel hair, do it to order. And the linguine, try to keep it within a half an hour of serving the food. So this is all going to come together and make the base of the clam sauce.
Oh, very nice.
All right, we'll let that get going. I have the clams here. I'm going to even add a little more of that celery and onion. A little tad more on the oil. Tad more on the garlic. Put that up again later for the pesto. Gonna marry up the ingredients. Pan's moving along nicely, and we'll add that white wine to it. You know, there's a million ways of doing these clam sauces, you know.
Now, what would be the benefit of white wine over, let's say, clam juice, for example?
We are gonna put some clam juice in there.
Oh, you are?
This will reduce as well, and we'll add a little clam juice in there as a base. That'll be the neutral. It'll be the stock of sorts. Will be the clam juice for this dish.
Okay.
Of the dishes, it's a chicken stock maybe or something, or a demi-glace. A lot of times with the veal bones, you can use it for a steak and a pork dish if it's brown enough and rich enough, you know. You don't use clam juice with the veal and the steak. All right. I have some chopped clams here. Take them out, chop them all up. You got to be very careful. They can get very tough very quickly. I think we've done enough here. There are those clams, folks. Put a couple spoons on in there. All right, a little more, what the heck. Maybe this is where we're going to add a little of that clam juice.
Okay. So until you're ready to cook with it, keep the clams in the clam juice.
Pardon me?
Keep the clams in the clam juice until
yes.
you're ready to cook with them?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to put a little bit of hot pepper in there, okay? You don't want them Fra Diavolo type, but, you know, it'll give it a little zip. I'm going to put some salt on.
Mm-hmm.
Some white pepper. You can always put the black pepper mill on top, but I like the white on the inside. I'm going to add a tad of parsley
Oh,
to the
great.
dish now. We'll add a little bit later. And that should be ready in 2 seconds. I'm going to take these clams and add them in. Could you pick that up for me? That, no, the lid and everything. Thanks. There we go. We'll go with a half a dozen in there. I'll save that one for a little cocktail sauce in a little while. Thanks. These clams cook very, very rapidly. So if I had to sit there and do this dish and wait for these clams to open, you know, you'd be picking these clams out of your teeth for a week, you know.
God.
All right, that clam sauce is about right where we want it. It's a little brothy. Clams are cooked where we want them. In fact, I may pull these clams out for a second and let this reduce just a hair more. Excuse me. Yeah, the Golden Gup doing his thing there. 12:50 a.m. So I reduced the clam sauce a little more. We got the pasta on the plate.
Okay.
It's a white clam sauce, in case you haven't noticed. I don't know, red. I'd rather have like a zuppa de clams kind of thing. I'm not a big red clam sauce guy.
That looks great.
Yep. Spread the clammies around a little bit. This one's for the Golden Gup. All right, I'll just put a little parsley on it. Did you steal the parsley on me?
Where did we put it? Oh, there it is.
There it is, right in
There it
front of
is.
me.
Yeah. Just kind of moved it down the line a little
Yeah.
bit, that's all.
All right, put a little parsley on there. It doesn't affect the flavor that much. We'll put a little more on top there. We've got a little linguine, vongole, little clam sauce. Yes,
Yes.
that's our secret pesto ingredient.
Secret pesto
Yeah.
ingredient. Oh, I
Yeah.
think we just told everybody.
No, that's what we want. You know, this is it's a good thing. You know, a
Okay.
lot of these pestos, you need something to loosen it up, and then you're saying, my God, how much should I be putting all this oil in here? So they also have the, we have a pesto that we make here. We put it in a food processor. We don't use the mortar and pestle thing. And you know, you've seen those things like the pharmacists use. You just grind up some garlic, and I guess they have the pignoli nuts
Pignola nuts.
that are $9 trillion a pound. A lot of people use walnuts instead. You know, it's no big deal. We don't use any only because A, we don't sell that much of this, and B, this is a dish, we finish a few dishes like a cream sauce, we squirt a little of that in. I think the nuts, it adds something an element we
Give it a
don't
little-
want, that we get a little, seem like grit. But you know, once again, when you're going to make the dish, you want it loose enough to eat, and you don't. And then you're saying that how much oil can I possibly put in one dish? Don't go buy some of that chicken broth they put in a can, or make your own, which is a real good thing. I mean, you can smell the.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? This is Grandma's chicken soup here that we've strained out, and it's a neutral to a lot of our dishes. We do make our own stocks here, you know. Unlike, no, I won't get into it. Don't be catty, Danny.
No.
All right,
but you
so
do,
that's
I know
what we're going to use as a base, as a neutral. And this way, the other important thing is that you want to get the thing hot. Have your pesto, either make it right there
Oh, okay.
and do it, or have it sitting out on the counter for a while. Don't bring it from the fridge to make the dish. Get this at room temperature, okay? You want the pasta coming from hot boiling water, and the chicken broth will be boiling, and that's hot enough, you know? But don't put the pesto in while the flame's on. That's not good. Not good. All right, once again, before we get the dish started, I'm going to chuck the linguine in the water. So of course, there's olive oil and garlic already in our pesto. And we got our chicken broth in here. I probably put a little too much in for one dish. Let me get it boiling, we'll see. But this is what's going to give it, it'll have flavor and be, it'll loosen the dish up without having to put 10 tons of oil in it. It's amazing how it gets, the basil. If you ate a basil leaf, you know, like this, or tore it, chopped it into something, it's got a certain flavor, but once you grind it up with that oil and garlic, it's some sort of sweetness that you
Yeah,
can't quite put your finger on.
There is.
You can put your fork on it, though.
Fork. Okay.
A real barrel of asses, Dan, huh?
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Get that boiling up there. Something tells me I've got
Yeah,
too much in.
that's-
So I'm gonna, also your oil will be at room temperature, and you get a real nice olive oil. I've got some Parmesan cheese and some salt and pepper here, and I've got some salami garnish I'm gonna put on there. It's probably gonna look like dog food, but we'll give it a shot anyway.
But will it taste like dog food?
No.
No.
It won't.
No. Listen, my dogs eat pretty good, so you can't even say that anymore. I mean, people go into gourmet stuff
Oh,
for their.
I think that's the most ridiculous
for their little
thing
critters.
in the world. Fluffy the Wonder Dog. Jesus. I mean, the size of the dog just kills me. If we ever had a dog, which of course is not going to happen.
Uh-oh.
I got 2 cats, so they don't even say hello to me.
Oh. I know we have 2 dogs that are probably smaller than your 2 cats.
Good, that's it. Anything you can control with one arm.
Mikey is 4 pounds.
4 pounds?
4 pounds.
What do you call him, Spike? I'm just going to toss a little of this chicken broth into the water since I'm not going to be using that anyway. So what I'm going to do now is put our linguine into the chicken broth. I think I need more chicken broth. Honest to God, I should have dumped that out. What a moron. I can see this pasta's going to dominate that now. All right, you get the picture. I'll put a little more in. Exactly what I dumped out. I was right. Always trust your first instinct, right? But this pasta's hot. The water's in there. The stock. Look at that. Look at that. Pasta took it all on me.
Oh, it really did. It absorbed it all.
All right, I'll go a little more. All right, go with more stock than you think you need, for crying out loud. All right, but this is all hot. Boiling water, boiling stock, you know, hot pan, the whole bit, you know? if you're really going to insist on this being the hottest thing we ever had, you're going to be making a mistake with the pesto. I'm going to add a little salt. I'm going to add a little pepper. White pepper, of course. We don't want the black speckles in there. We're going to add a little Parmesan.
Mmm. Oh, that'll melt nicely.
Right. That'll melt down. I'm going to put some olive oil.
Okay.
Now we don't need as much olive oil. And we're going to put our pesto on there. All right, that's all we're going to do is let's stir that in, see what we have. And if it's looking too dry at all, I'll just add more chicken stock to it.
Mmm.
Some people like it light, you know, the usual BS. Oh, you can't do that. I do this, you don't do that. Just, I like a little more of the pesto in here for the color.
Oh, I love the aroma of that pesto.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, there's nothing like homemade and fresh. Boy, is that fragrant.
Right. And there we go. And then you can add a little more pepper on top, a little more Parmesan. But even with that stock, you can see it's not exactly dry and it's not exactly wet. So if you want a little more moisture in there, just add a little more of the stock to it. But this is one of these things. I'm not saying you're going to eat it at room temperature, but if you're going to insist, once again, don't have the pan on when you're adding the olive oil and the basil to it. But yeah, it's liquidy enough, right? See, this is why I shouldn't add that cheese till the end. I should just put the cheese on the top because that's what causes this that stuff sticking to the bottom like that. I wanted to put some of that on the top, and now I can't. So we'll add a little drizzle or two on the top, and that roasted pepper is going to be a contrast. Why don't I just put something around the plate? Boy, what could I'll just put a basil leaf in the center, right?
There you go.
Just put a basil leaf.
Basil leaf in the center.
That's a little too
that's
gloomy.
Kind of big there.
Yeah. And I'll put this couple droplets of red to put a third color in, the white, the green, the yellow. That's 4, isn't it?
That's
And there we go. We got a linguine pesto.
Now, I was hoping you weren't going to forget about these crepes here.
Oh yeah, right. And we got that
Dessert.
spinach we want to do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was going to roll a few of these up. You know, I do a few at a time, half a dozen or so. And if we need more, we need more, you know. But, yeah, we just take those little crepes there and take some of these apples. And these are the Granny Smith type, you know. They seem to bake very well. And we end up getting it a little warm. We do put it in a radar. I mean, can you imagine me putting this in the oven or heating the apples up? Yeah, right. Okay, in another world, that's going to happen. But you know, if you know what to put in a microwave, and how to do it, it can be a good thing. We avoid it to the nth degree, but something like this, it calls for it. Let me get a plate here to do that with. I'll have to disappear for a second or two.
Sure.
But isn't that pretty?
Very
I like
nice.
that. Yeah, we're gonna bake a little. Make a little ice cream with that.
Ooh,
Got a
ice
little
cream.
whipped cream with that.
Ice cream, whipped cream.
I got a little sugar here if I can find it. No, I can't find it. I have to find it. I need to have that. That there, that here. Come on, where'd that sugar go? We can't be out of that. It's my one thing a week. I'm always out of something, you know.
That sounds like
But
our
any
kitchen's
dessert
at home.
that I
Where
love
did I
having
put that?
confectioner sugar on it. All right, I got a box of it here. I'll put it on my
Okay.
fingers. First off, where'd the crepe go?
There we go.
All right, I'll pop it in our little radar here. Won't make it too hot. There we go.
It's got to be warm, but not too hot. You want to eat that quickly.
All right, there we are there. Got a couple forks over here. That's warm.
And that went in for about 15 seconds?
Well, that thing's a powerhouse.
Okay.
All right, I'll move this to the side. I've got a little, get it to the end of the squirt bottle here. I've got a little toffee sauce. fact, I'll put the crepe down over here. Some of the apples slide out. Just kind of put a little abstract toffee on there. We better loosen this up, huh? Usually we do all this before we open up. Put a little toffee on there, a little third color. Hope I can get this back on again without messing it up too badly. There we go. I think this calls for a little vanilla, which I'll sneak over here and grab. Alrighty. Put that on our toffee sauce.
Let's just add those calories.
There we go. Hopefully the whipped cream is happening right here today.
Okay.
A little of that over here. And where did I put that confectioner's sugar? All right. Got that confectioner's sugar on there. You want to, just before you serve it, you want to put that on there. And I could have put a little more of that toffee sauce on, but you know, a nice homemade crepe like that with the apples, the ice cream. Boy, I'll tell you what. Mom and apple pie, right? This is a twist on Mom's apple pie. She doesn't make her own crust anymore anyway.
Dan and apple pie.
Yes. This is bringing apple pie to another level.
Here we go. Get some of that ice cream, some of the crepe, some of the whipped cream. Heavenly. Dan?
Yes.
You better get back here, otherwise I'm going to finish this.
No, I can't. I'm Johnny Atkins.
Oh, no.
I'm Chet Atkins here for a month. Yes, I got Chubby here. I got to take a little off.
Oh my gosh, we almost forgot about the spinach.
Yeah, you know, I just have a little wilted spinach here. You know, it's a little crunchy in parts, but, you know, once again, it's not full of water. You know, and, you know, if I make a veal saltimbocca or something like that, all I have to do is put the spinach at room temperature on a very hot plate that we have up here, and it gets it to where you want it to go. You know, you don't have to get crazy with it.
Right.
But because we do the spinach like that, we steam it up a little bit. I didn't do it on camera. We'd be here all day. With the sauce we have with the saltimbocca or the chicken Florentine, you know, anytime you hear the word Florentine, there's going to be some spinach associated with it. The sauce does all the talking, you know. You don't have that, you know, seaweed with hunks of garlic and water, you know, that all of a sudden when you put the sauce on, it's going to, you know, clash with that.
Right.
So it's just a good thing, you know. This takes the sauce very, very well. So I got a pan I'm getting very hot here. And once again, I'm going to use I have granulated garlic I'm going to put in with this. There's 90 ways of doing this. I mean, I could sliver the garlic, but I just like this little operation. So I'm going to get the pan hot, and I'm going to use olive oil.
Okay.
It's a very nice extra virgin olive oil. You can see the nice green color to it. And I'm getting the pan hot first because, you know, it loses a little bit of itself. You know, when I took the pesto off, I put the olive oil in at the end. You know, it doesn't take a lot of heat very, very well. So we'll put it in there for a couple seconds. See now? Like that, right? I'm going to take this lovely spinach here. Toss it in.
Hear that crackling.
Then I add that granulated garlic to the top. I'm not going to put any pepper in. You can do that at the table. Going to put a little salt on it. We got that olive oil, the spinach, and this is all it is, folks. This is actual cooking time here. Two seconds in and out of that pan, and we're done.
Wow, great.
But that smells pretty good, right?
Oh.
Well, like I said, I like this style. You know, it's not dry, but it's not that, you know. Now I know why I was turned off to spinach as a kid. That frozen stuff. Supposedly Popeye ate. There's a little sautéed spinach with olive oil and garlic. Thanks
again, folks, for joining us this evening while we're wrapping up. Dan's telling me we have to hurry this up because he's got tea time, and you know what? He was cheating too.
Yes.
Started picking
I
before
admit
before we got to you.
All right, quickly. We got a bunch of stuff we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
No, we got that ice cream melting, a wonderful hot apple crepe there. Boy, I'll tell you what, I could go for a couple of those, except
great.
I'm Chet Atkins there for a month. Got to shed a little of that blubber before I can fit into that Speedo I'm going to be wearing down the shore, that thong.
I've got the movie camera.
Right, yeah, please, you might get sick. But I've got that glistening sauteed spinach there. Looks great, right?
Yep.
That pesto, once again, that chicken broth, just buy the canned stuff if you have to, but it's something that'll loosen it up a little bit for you and has flavor at the same time. And we did our linguine with clam sauce. Boy, I could dive into that, let me tell you. That, a little spinach on the side,
There you go.
little espresso buca and that apple crepe. We're good to go, right?
We are. Okay. Well, folks, thanks again for having fun with us this evening. We will see you again next week.